Hi, my name is Antoinette Gregory, and I titled my presentation Flower Power, the Growth of a Scholar. This is because I believe that flowers are resilient, strong, and they grow through sometimes some of the harshest conditions. And I believe that that's a representation of who I am. So this is my silver journey, and I can't wait to take you along with me. The goals that I set with my coach, Melissa Lohr, were financial, health, and professional. The reason that I chose these three parts of my life are because those were the things at the beginning of this semester that I was either really struggling with, had some things that I wanted to improve upon, or I was doing well, but I felt like I could do better. For my financial goal, the reason that I chose to pick creating a budget and increasing my savings was because at the beginning of the semester, I had like $25 in my savings. That wasn't enough in case there was an emergency. There was not any cushion for me in case something really expensive or big happened. So really, I was very financially unstable and insecure. So I wanted to work on that, and because I am a cohort captain for Guarantee, I did have a stream of steady income that was coming in. And therefore, I had a basis to start making a budget. And I found this app that my coach told me about called Mint that really helped me look at my spending and figure out the best way for me to save money and build up that savings. And I am $100 away from my goal, and that makes me really happy and really proud of myself because I have been putting money into that savings on a regular basis and building up my financial security. My health goal, ever since my freshman year, I have been struggling with stress and time management and the anxiety and things like that. So I wanted to go to workshops and gain tools and techniques that I could use to help me with those things because I realized that my mental health and my personal health impact the way that I am able to learn, impact the way that I experience college, and impacts the way that I lead. When I'm really stressed out, it's really hard for me to pay attention and give my students and give those that trust in me to lead them the attention and time that they deserve. So by working on these skills and building these tools, I am better able to lead. Professionally, I had been doing really well, but there's always room for improvement. And the biggest thing that I had gotten from feedback from others my fall semester was that I needed to be more vulnerable, be more open with my students that I work with. So that was my main goal for this semester. And I have been working really hard. And I think that I see the impact that vulnerability and opening up and letting them see that I'm not perfect has on my students. And it builds a better trust, a better repertoire between me and them. And that is amazing. I don't think I could ever have built the interpersonal relationships that I have now with my students if I did not work on this goal and work to achieve this goal. So, growth. From bronze to present, I have become a lot more confident in myself, in my abilities to lead. I have become more adaptive, inclusive, and reliable for my team because as I've learned more about myself, I've been able to apply those things to my leadership, to my personal life, to my professional life, to my relationships with my friends and my colleagues and my peers. And it's made me grow more in the sense of myself and solidify who it is that I feel like I am and who it is that I want to be. I'm a completely different person from bronze, my freshman year, to now. From even the beginning of the semester to now, those two different people. And I really am more comfortable in my skin, and it shows because I've had so much time to reflect on myself and give back and think about the things that I'm doing and why it is, what the reason is that I'm even in university, what is the reason that I get up every morning. And learning those things and solidifying these reasons has helped me grow a lot mentally and emotionally, and that has made me a more confident, strong person. I've also been better at understanding the needs that I have for my health mentally and physically, as well as my health emotionally and financially. And by being able to see those things and seeing areas of improvement, I've been able to adjust things as needed and go and work on things as needed and set goals to achieve things for improvement in those areas. And it's helped me achieve a lot more than I ever could have without having the opportunity to focus on myself and focus on what I need to do to get better, which silver has done for me, and which I built on the things that I started in bronze and took it 3 steps forward. And from that, I've been able to see myself from different angles and appreciate those things about myself that like I never knew. And doing like the leadership 360 also helped with that, because I saw how other people saw me, and that helps me see myself in a better light, because I have a really bad, something that I'm still working on. I have really bad imposter syndrome, and that's really held me back from a lot of opportunities, a lot of job opportunities that I should have applied for, programs that I wanted to apply for but didn't, because I always felt like I wasn't good enough, or I couldn't do it, or like everybody saw something that I didn't see. But seeing my results and seeing how high all of my peers, my colleagues, my bosses ranked me, it made me realize that I am good enough, I'm strong enough, I'm smart enough, I'm capable of these things. And it's something that I'm still working on, because it still holds me back to this day, but I know that in the future I will overcome this. I'm also working on stress management and maintaining my motivation throughout the semester, because towards the end of the semester, I usually start getting demotivated, and that pours into like my stress, because when I get demotivated, it's hard for me to get up and do the things I need to do, which means that everything piles up and it gets really stressful. So I'm still working on learning ways to like overcome that, which is why it's still one of my goals for the future. And also finding a routine for studying, living, and maintaining my life and my relationships, because I'm very work oriented, and sometimes that can mean that I will go months or a semester without really having people interactions, especially since we've been online. And I think that that's something I need to really work on, because I need to create balance, especially as somebody who works with students. And I always encourage my students to create a life balance. You need life balance. Well, I want to start practicing that myself, because I've noticed since being online, I haven't done that, and I want to make a change in that and grow. That's an area of growth that I'm still working on. For my SWOT analysis, I decided to do an organization that is near and dear to my heart, which is the public library system, specifically the public library system in my hometown, which I have spent the past summer of 2020 interning there. So I have like an inside look on both sides, because I used to be a patron and I still am a patron of that library, but I also got it from a staff worker point of view. And the biggest strengths of a library are that they provide services to a wide variety of the community. Onslow Public County Library serves the military. It serves the low income. It serves the homeless community. It serves fosters parents and foster children. It supports people with literacy issues. It supports low income families. So there's a wide variety of people that are serviced by this organization. And it also allows patrons that come into the organization a plethora of services and information and tools that they can get at low cost or no cost. Libraries, I learned that from my internship, actually can help people with legal things like divorce, paperwork, filing, foster care, people trying to become foster parents, things of that nature. They also help, since I come from a military town, studying for the ASVAB, taking the ASVAB, proctoring tests, helping people study for the ACT, get their GED, things like that. It's a very, very, very wide variety of resources other than books that they provide. But also some weaknesses that I've noticed and I see in the organization as their lack of diversity in staff. All of the staff members at Onslow County Library, with the exception of me when I worked there and one other woman, but she quit, are white women. And there's one white male there. And they service, and it is housed in a community that's predominantly low income, African American, Latinx, and indigenous groups. So there's kind of a divide and a breakdown between the community that they serve and themselves, because it's really hard for the staff, I've noticed, to understand where their patrons are coming from, specifically the ones in the community that they are in, because they are not in those communities. And that has like created a divide between staff and patron, which they are working to bridge. But I feel like having members in their organization that are in those groups would help them to better serve them. Also, there's a lack of advertisement of these resources that I said were strengths, because a lot of people don't know about the things that the library can do, because the library does not advertise it, or if it is advertised, it's not advertised in a way where it's widely accessible, which is a weakness. And opportunities are, especially in the summer, kids are home a lot, so the library capitalizes on that and has a lot of summer programming and things like that, where students can come in, parents can come in, kids can come in, teenagers, adults, the elderly, and they can get like prizes for reading, prizes for being active, prizes for participating in the community, which allows more people to come in because it's free stuff. And a lot of the times these prizes are really, really good. And it's an incentive for people to come into the library and get in tune with those resources that the library has to offer. Some threats that I've seen in this organization are fines and fees. When people get fines and fees, they can be astronomical. Like sometimes people can have like over $100 fees or fines on their accounts from like not returning books on time, late fees, damaged books, damaged goods, damaged CDs, things like that. And that will prevent them from coming back into the library because they feel like they can't use the services. When a lot of the times I learned the librarians want people to come in, so they will work with people, but people don't know that. So it's a threat because it's not advertised, because they don't want people to capitalize or abuse that system. Also, another threat is the rural environment that the library is located in. Jacksonville is a really, really rural place, and a lot of people in the community, if you don't have a car, it's very hard for you to get around. So the library is a place where these resources are, but a lot of people cannot reach them. And I think that maybe working in the community to try to get maybe a shuttle or something like that for those people in need so that they can get those resources would counteract this threat. I am somebody who is intrinsically motivated. My biggest motivation for leading for social change is that I am a minority person myself. I'm a minority African American woman who's comes from a single parent, low income household. I'm a first generation college student so I support myself. And of course, I have emotional support from my family, and I have like the mental support when I need it, but generally I take care of myself. So I understand where a lot of the people that I work with, because my passion, the reason for me waking up in the morning, the reason for me wanting to push forward and go to college, go to graduate school and join the military so I can get experience, is because I want to be a librarian. Specifically, I want to work in a low income rural environment like the one that I came from. I want to build programs for students. I want to work with children that have literacy issues. I want to work with immigrants and people like that, people who are marginalized, who feel like they are powerless, who are voiceless in our society. I want to give them a voice, give them resources, help them achieve their goals, help them reach the success that they want in life, and be a part of that process for them. And social change is that. It is meant to change the world, change society for the betterment of those who feel powerless, for those who feel like there's no body that speaks for them. There's no shield or protection from them against the brutalities of our society and the systems of oppression that are in it. And I feel like it is both the privilege and a necessity and the duty of those who can make change to do so. So, as somebody who I have privileges, even though I didn't think about them until I started doing myself a challenge. I have the ability to walk and the ability to speak and the privilege of being born in this country. I find these privileges are beneficial in my work because I work with students who might not have those privileges, or I want to work with people who might not have these privileges, who don't have those privileges, and make the world a better place for them. Because a lot of the times I didn't even realize that it's hard for people who may have disabilities to go get around even our own campus, or get around and be involved in things on our college campus or in the world, because am somebody who can walk. So I never thought about that before. But thinking about that during this journey, during my silver challenge from bronze to silver, and even now I'm carrying that with me, I start thinking about those things like, wow, how would this make somebody who's in a wheelchair feel? They can't get into this building, or it's hard for them to be a part of what everybody else is doing. And I want to bridge that gap. I want to work with people like that and work for people like that, because I want to be the voice or amplify the voices of the voiceless. I don't want to be their voice. I want to shout out with them and make sure that what they're saying is being heard, because I know how it feels to want to do something and have somebody else speak over you or speak for you who is not a part of that group, and how it makes you feel almost slighted in a way. And I don't want to do that either. And I believe as a leader who wants to work with a variety of different people, who will have a variety of different people from a variety of different backgrounds as an officer working with me, it is my job to understand them and understand their struggle and understand where they're coming from and understand their pain, understand their challenges, and be able to empathize with them and be a part of whatever they want to do to make a change, and work for those changes with them and not for them. Finally, I have both goals and plans for the next 3 semesters here at UNCG that I want to implement and help me reach my goal of being an officer in the Air Force. That is my ultimate goal for my future. I decided that I want to join the Air Force and be an officer so that I can gain experience with working with diverse communities and aiding people globally, and as well as so that I can pay for myself to go to grad school and save up so I can go get my doctorate. I plan on getting a doctorate in library science, and I believe that that will help me, give me the educational tools that I need in order to work in these communities and give a voice to the people that are in these communities that need the resources that libraries can offer that they don't get. And so my first goal, to get to that goal, I have to get into officer school. So I have goals for fall 2021, spring of 2022, and fall of 2022. And those goals are to go to at least 3 leadership workshops by December of 2021, which I'm fully capable of doing. I already have been like scoping out some. And another goal that I have for fall of 2021 is to apply for the McNair Scholar Program, because I'm really interested in grad school and I want to do research on African American women or women of color in higher education, and I think that that would be a great opportunity for me. My plan for that semester also is to continue working on my officer training, my physical test requirements for my officer school, because I am very slow and very abdominally weak, and being in the military is a very physically demanding job. So I've been working to get into shape for that. And for spring 2022, my biggest goal that I want to do is gain at least 2 leadership positions. I want to either become a PAL or maybe an RA, something where I'm working with students hands-on, because I also plan on continuing my work as a cohort captain for my guarantee scholarship program that I am in, which I have already gained employment for next school year with that. So I want to continue doing that my senior year as well. And my plan for that semester is to get involved in campus clubs for social justice in order to have more community engagement. And the clubs I've been thinking about joining are Defund Our Future and the African Student Union. And fall 2022, I want to pass a practice PT test once a month. And I plan on doing that at the end of every month and doing various exercises to maintain my physical fitness. And another goal that's not on here is I want to also go to at least one protest, one community engagement group, one community dialogue. I plan on getting involved in Spartan Dialogue if that's something that's brought back on campus as well that school year, because I think that is important for me to talk to other people that come from different backgrounds, learn about their point of view, learns about their experiences. And my plan for that year as well is to begin studying for my officer exam and my ASVAB test again, because I have to take that again because it's good for 2 years. So mostly I'm going to start zeroing in on focusing for my officer exams and the things I need to do for military school so that I can reach my goal of being an officer in the Air Force. Thank you so much for listening to my silver journey, and I look forward to sharing my continued growth as another goal for next year, for 2021 to 2022, is for me to begin and complete my gold challenge.